Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another RAKAN cast, and today we're having a look at a game played on the Korean server, and it is Dangerous Boy Addy with another one of his top lane dark technology picks, and it is going to be the RAKAN top. You've seen it, FA Addy is the ID he's playing on the Korean server on, and he's been playing a bunch of Taric and Pantheon and RAKAN lately. So we're gonna have a look under the hood of this pick and see what exactly he is planning to do with it. These are the runes. We are running Grasp of the Undying, Font of Life, Second Wind, and Unflinching, and then Celerity, Nimbus Cloak. And for Quints, there is attack speed, armor, and health based on level. Alright, so we're going to be starting out with the Doran's Shield here in the top lane, going up against a Lee Sin, which is also considered a quite unique pick, to be perfectly honest. However, we will see how exactly this pans out in just a second as we introduce the junglers here, which is Wukong for the red team, and for the blue team it is going to be an Elise. In the mid lane, there is, for the blue team, a Tristana, and she's facing off against an Aurelion Sol. And in the bot lane, it is going to be a Pantheon and a Samira, facing off against an Ezreal and a Karma. As we move into the top lane, Lee Sin, positioned in the third most right brush here. Far away from his turret, he's going to be waiting for the RAKAN to show up. RAKAN helping with the buff. This has been noted by the enemy team as well, as we will be moving into the lane here as Addy. And Mr. Addy is running very, very weird builds and very, very weird picks in the top lane. However, it is a certain sense of game and also just the ability to play top lane that keeps him in this, well, that keeps him in the game in a lot of these matches where, you know, don't make any mistakes. I'm not gonna scam you and tell you that these picks are what, you know, is so crazy. It's just he has a great read on what exactly is strong right now and how you can deal with it. And RAKAN obviously is able to deal with things like the Jax actually considerably well, right? So it is going to be these picks, these support picks that don't really scale that crazy. However, they have one deciding factor, and that is going to be the fact that they are a little unpredictable in their damage, you know? No one's used to playing versus a RAKAN here, as Lee Sin obviously grabs the first push. We have a takedown secured here onto the Elise. So we pan back to the top lane. Ooh, Tristana picks up a kill here onto the Wukong, now bullying the Aurelion Sol. Aurelion Sol doesn't really have a lot of impact on the lane early on. Tristana, quite the opposite. Probably one of the strongest early laners at this stage of the game. She is definitely going to be crazy, and in the current meta definitely works well versus most of the champions that are in it as well, as I think she's rocking about a 53% win rate at the moment. So, you know, does show in win rate how strong she is. I don't know if you have watched a lot of my casts. By the way, if you enjoy it, hit the subscribe button, as I do not tend to get a lot of returning viewers, but I would love to see you back on the channel again. If you have watched some of my previous casts, I've said this many a time. It is the thing that in top lane might seem counterintuitive, but the person who's pushing oftentimes can be the person who's losing, right? So here, Addy now, after keeping the wave in front of the turret there, by Lee Sin just being able to push in, right? Lee Sin's just able to push in, poke you down, kind of just gains control over the lane. Now, Addy is in the most dangerous of positions that you can be in the top lane. He has a predictable wave, right, that is going to push whether or not he likes it or not. And his jungler not on his side. So yeah, this is definitely the scariest of situations. However, Elise will be spotted over here, and that means that now Addy is in the clear, because obviously you don't know whether or not the jungler is going to pass top lane here, try to kill that RAKAN. So right now he's going to make sure that, you know, he gets the wave into the turret, and will probably try to take Oh, he actually doesn't have Demolish, right? I said it before. Which means he's just going for poke, question mark? I would assume so. So he's just going to be sitting in front of the tower. Be auto-attacking. He's using Grasp of the Undying to stack up a little bit of HP here. We have a look at exactly how much HP he is already stacked up with Grasp. It is already a total of what, 300? There's no way. Yeah. 329 damage to champions. Not too bad for a rune. And yeah, he's actually managing to outtrade the Lee Sin. A very little known fact, as RAKAN is actually ranged, as you can not see. As it's kind of like Irelia. Irelia range, but ooh, the kick will come through. But the dangerous boy will ghost in there as Lee Sin pops the flash. And Eddie will connect with the Q there. The ultimate, kind of weird, because it does do its job well, right? It CCs very well. The targets get charmed. But you also can't attack during it. You can just run around, which means it's not so good for a 1v1. As you just saw there, Lee Sin still just kicks him away. Then the ultimate move speed together with Ghost made Eddie be able to catch up. So it isn't, you know, all for nothing. And in the end, he ended up getting a kill. He will grab for himself also a Balmy Cinder here. And, I mean, let's be honest. What did he do? So he correctly played the lane. He didn't struggle for an early lead in the lane. He let Lee Sin push in when it was necessary and when he knew he wouldn't be able to. And then at a certain point, a huge amount of minions amassed on his side. And he decided to not fast push it, but slow build up 3 waves. And he crashed 3 waves into the turret of Lee Sin, giving him ample time to, you know, start working on Lee Sin's HP while that one still was playing catch up with XP, allowing him to, you know, get just small little level leads at a time. As Wukong in a lot of trouble here. Wukong will make his way out, will flash out, and we'll find the flash angle as Addy now arrives at the scene of the crime. Red buff will not be stolen. And Addy now just auto-attacking down the Lee Sin. Aurelion Soul comment will definitely not find its mark, as Addy once more. Even the Tristana E will not deter him. The problem with Tristana E is that it does reset her W, so she will just be able to get out no matter what. But we will help out our top laner here, pushing in, as there is a big wave that is building in the top lane. This is not a coincidence here. Addy doing a very creative play. This is something what Eddie is doing here. Eddie, the dangerous boy. First of all, he seems to know this champion a little bit better than anyone else. But on the other hand, also, what he's doing here is he's identified that after pushing in the wave, there was going to be a minion advantage for him. So this play, right, he looked up to the top lane and he decided, nope, I do not need to return to top lane. If I go to another lane, create an advantage there, or go even if I go even here, I will come out with an advantage here, as this lane is going to shove into me eventually anyway. So now we are stuck in a little bit of a kerfuffle in a way, because we are not ready for the Herald though, which is always the little bit of a back and forth. If you know, take one of these recalls and then you don't really get the recall. You take one of these timings where, you know, the turret will shove in, but then you don't get the recall, you will be stuck. And here, the kill on Tristana worked out great. However, that also caused the blue team here not to have to be scared of him during the during the fight. And so, you know, the Herald went over to the blue team here, which is obviously not quite what you would want. Ooh, Eddie now. Yep. Okay. So that dodge was important. Is he going to just walk out? He is going to just walk out, which is super unfortunate for the Elise, as no kill will be found. As actually Wukong still got the Herald. I didn't realize, but Wukong still got the Herald. He did die. Indeed. He is now 0-4-1, but he did get the Herald, which could potentially be very big. As obviously Tristana almost taken down the turret here at this point. This is what Tristana is so ridiculously good at. Especially facing something like the Aurelion Sol, who really can't fight back. You just take the tower. Yeah, and the tower will go down as Eddie will make his way into the mid lane here. Was planning to go into the bot lane, but now he is on his way to the mid lane. Ghost is activated. The ultimate not quite popped here, as we are going to try to catch up with this Tristana. She will knock him back. The W still finds the Tristana, and the ultimate will pull her back into the Wukong and into the Aurelion Sol. And that is Addy on a tour de monde. He will be going to the bot lane now, trying to impact that one as well, as the Ezreal is frantically pinged back here. As Ezreal obviously has his E available. Karma is the main target here, as the W will find Karma. The follow-up is available, but a little bit late, as Elise will come in and punish the Samira for overextension. Pantheon here in a lot of trouble as well, will go down as well, and that is F.A. Addy. Not really doing the best of jobs here, rotation-wise. He is doing a good job in, you know, impacting the game and causing chaos, but that, let's be honest, that wasn't really the best play. But his attitude, very much like in Silicon Valley, is break things and move fast, which is what he does, not only as Rakan, but also just playing the map. It's just something that he does all the time, is he just creates these fights and just takes, you know, a little bit lower chance fights, because let's be honest, he just walked past the Elise there. That's a very good chance that Elise is there, and then she just follows him into the fight. And she will take down the Samira first, and then, like the dominoes, they fall. And Addy, still on the map. Very low HP here, as Elise will not find the takedown on him today. But he needs to go back. And obviously, this is also something that is very important, as this is only a Lee Sin. This Lee Sin got a lot of gold from basically taking down the entire turret with all the plates. Which is a big issue. He did actually take all the plates and all the turret, which is a big issue, as Lee Sin will come in and just dominate this bot lane fight here, as Addy now arriving though. Aurelion Sol is around as well. Beautiful Aurelion Sol ult will hit together with the Wukong combo. That is going to be the enemy team stunned for ages and ages, as Wukong will go down once again. Addy now trying to make his way away from the Tristana, jumps onto her, but she will find the shutdown onto him, and that is going to be another kill going over here to the Tristana. Actually, a triple kill going over to the Elise as well. That is really rough. That is very, very rough. And yeah, that is definitely not what you want from these kind of fights. 3-1-2. Addy's scoreline looks good, but his team hasn't had the most positive of impressions from him so far, as you know, your top lane is winning, but whenever he shows up in your lane you still lose, which doesn't really feel very reassuring, as this Rakan pick is definitely gotten off its feet, considering the fact that Sunfire Age is now available here together with the Ionian Boots of Lucidity. We are not touching the top lane wave once again, instead moving into the mid lane, taking the freeze and CS over here, and moving in around the dragon, as that is the next objective. Ezreal already working on that for a little bit, decides to hop out because scared. Elise hovering around Wukong, clears his red buff, but will be hovering around pretty soon now as well, as the mid laners are duking it out in the bot lane. Well, not really duking anything out, as Tristana has clear priority here over the Aurelion Sol. Aurelion Sol just has to give all the farm that he can. I also saw him use his E a little bit unefficiently there under a turret, but that is totally fine, as Addy already poked quite low, to be honest, as Pantheon will find an engage onto the Elise. Elise will be able to jump to the skies though. Ooh, beautiful cancel here by Wukong, as he cancels the Tristana jump, but Aurelion Sol forced to flash here. He has the Sky's Descent available, so if he goes for a defensive Sky's Descent, there would be a turnaround, but his team is not around, and so he will just go down without using his ultimate as well, which is a good move, because obviously wasting Sky's Descent is really rough because that opens up about a 10-minute time window, especially if you're not doing well for yourself. And for them to make plays around objectives, you know, can be 2 dragons that just go down just like that. As Eddie will try to make his way out here as Tristana is... Oh, beautiful Pantheon coming in, shutting down the Lee Sin here. Tristana, though, still lurking, looking very crazy. As... Addy. Yeah, it's so hard. I just always want to call him Addy. Oh, does a beautiful job at denying the bomb here as Pantheon will put his E on. And that means that Tristana will not be able to find a reset for her W and will be taken down here. I believe it was even by the Samira, which is absolutely great if that was the case. But yeah, Addy doing a great job at surviving here with Pantheon ult together. Tristana and Lee Sin's pincer didn't really do anything. As Lee Sin will make his way back to the bottom lane. Looking ashamed there, buddy. As Ezreal and Karma going into the mid lane. Attempting to push that out, secure some vision, and maybe set up for some plays. Although this is solo queue, so we are probably just looking to fight and flip the game once again. A 50-50 place. Always a bit of a fan favorite here. As Addy has heard the call. It is 50-50 time as he jumps onto the Karma. Karma will not be able to find the binding onto him, so he doesn't take any damage. Goes in and trades, obviously, with the Hextech plants, right? Trades out the shield that he gained from it. Now, we'll be dropping to 50% HP here just by Ezreal's damage. Working out on the stats just a little bit as Lee Sin. Not really grouping, Lee Sin just out here in the side lane pushing. And this is where we can already see what Addy's plan is here. Is to just create a chaos and be around the map and do stuff. And not really the plan to lane. I mean, let's be honest, how you're killing this God Drinker Lee Sin. Let me tell you, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. As Lee Sin will move in, place a control ward here, get a little bit of vision. But I believe this control ward is not going to be long for this world. The question is, what is this control ward going to achieve? Is it going to achieve a solo kill for Lee Sin? Not really. Is it going to secure an objective? No, not really. So what does it do? Well, you know, it basically gives... Oh, that's actually interesting. I don't know how much money it gives people, but we are about to find out. So it gives 60. It gave 60 gold, right? So it gives 60 gold over to the enemy team while costing you 70. So that's 130 gold that you just delete out of your bank account, basically. Or that you delete out of the equation that, you know, balances the gold values. That's probably a better way to put it, right? It also is an absolutely atrocious way to put it, because I just am not very good with words in English, but that is totally fine. We'll get there eventually. Ezreal pumping out, you know, considerable amounts of damage here onto Addy, so that is, yeah, I mean, he doesn't really have a mid lane to play around as of right now, as the difference between Tristana and this Aurelion Soul is still very huge. Aurelion Soul will come into it pretty soon though, as all the CS, all the CC that is available sets up for a very strong Aurelion. Aurelion sitting on the Sky's Descent here still, holding his ultimate for an ungodly amount of time, but you know, if there's no fight that you can use it in, then you just don't use it. And so that way you always have it available. Why not? You know, why the hell not? As we are picking up a Rylai's here, Kindle Gem. Slowly, very, very slowly, we are moving towards the Seraph's Embrace. Weirdly enough, doesn't even have a mythic item though. So interesting what the mythic item is going to be. It's probably going to be a Liandry's, as I would assume. As Addy will make his way into the top lane here, defend the minions coming in from Master Lee. I don't know why I call Lee Sin Master Yi. I don't know why I do it. I always want to do it, and even if I catch myself like this one, the urge is still there. Is actually huge team fight here for the Sky's Descent. The Sky's Descent hits so many people here. Double kill for the Wukong, as the flash will probably not save the Elise here, as Elise is taken down by the Rakan, actually, out of all people, which is a little bit unfortunate, but still 2 people that were able to escape here. Are they actually going to be able to escape, though? Addy doesn't think so, as the W will not find Karma. Karma has to flash here and will be able to get herself out eventually? Question mark? As the... Dude, red team is just over chasing on this one. Trying to pick up a kill onto the Lee Sin or the Karma. Aurelion Sol will lose a lot of HP here trying to chase down Karma. No W available now for Aurelion Sol, who is going to drop his teleport just to get out of that situation that he got himself into, as now the dragon is finally started. But Lee Sin is on the scene, and so is going to be... Yeah, is Karma going to be. I don't think that Elise will be there in time, but Ezreal definitely has a shot at stealing this one. As a Q and a W other way around and a little bit later, and he might have gotten that one, but not like this, as the dragon goes over to the Wukong here, which is, you know, it's a good one. That entire play was a little bit questionable, given the fact that Aurelion Sol just flew in here and then teleport. I don't know, dude. I don't know. But, you know, Aurelion Sol also tends to look a little bit grief if you don't, you know, if you don't place your W correctly. You just, like, fly off into the distance while your team is fighting, which can be a little bit of an issue. Aurelion Sol also riddled with bugs at this current point in time. He is very weird. You can recast your Qs during Ws, your Es, your R's, a lot of things that you shouldn't be able to do because it's on cooldown. You can still recast it, and it's just a little bit of chaos. But that's totally fine. It is a new champion after all, and you know, 600 years of combined game development experience can't possibly teach you how to fix this game, because obviously League of Legends running on a little bit of an old engine at this point, so a lot of the new mechanics that you're introducing here, you really have to kind of finagle and spaghetti it to get anywhere. As the Baron, what was started, will be stopped, but a fight is found here. The Pantheon will find the engage onto the Ezreal. Ezreal now in a decently safe place here from Addy, as still Tristana will be going down. The W finds... Oh, actually Tristana takes down the Pantheon, but actually... No, yeah, she gets out. Beautiful. I was so sure that she would be going down there, but Flash gets her to safety as Ezreal, making some heroic plays, will take down the Samira, but trade her for her own life, as Addy still hasn't had enough. Wukong will be chasing down the Karma here, and Addy trades himself for the Karma as Tristana still stays alive, and there is a wave pushing in to the top side of the turret. That is even more gold and XP going to die and going to be lost. So that is quite unfortunate. As Wukong, though, will be stealing away a little bit of that enemy jungle. And the Baron, during all of this, hasn't been taken yet. So we are going to be resetting. And the entire Fiesta is on the way again, as Elise moves into her clear topside jungle. Has nothing better to do than to clear wards now. And that is exactly how it starts. That is exactly how this one starts. Pantheon will move in here. We are looking for a pick already, as Lee Sin will find himself into the bottom lane here. No teleport available. Yeah, available for him. So if a fight broke out, wouldn't really be able to respond, which is why he is going to move in as Addy, looking for a lot of chaos again. Will miss the W though. Wukong also not really doing anything, but now we are hunting the Tristana. Addy will not find her, but she has been forced to W out. So at least that gives you a little bit of respite, I suppose. As the wave pushed into the mid lane here. Red team asserting their dominance here over the river so far. But yeah, Tristana and Elise kind of moving in and pushing people away from the Baron. Baron now thoroughly warded again for the blue team. We have 2 wards here. That is all but thorough. But they, you know, they have a clue. And slowly the fight should be transitioning towards the dragon area, which is where the dragon is about to spawn. Right now, we are still sitting on Baron side of the top lane as... Oh, Pantheon will barely be alive. As Eddie has to be a little bit careful here with the bomb. Doesn't transfer it to anyone else. I also want to point out that... Ooh, Pantheon goes down here to the Ezreal. I also want to point out that Sky's Descent is available once again. Elise and Tristana trying to solo the Baron, and they might very well just be capable of doing so as the red team is sidetracked. And that is the blue team picking up the Baron, Nashor, and instantly the fight moves over to the dragon here, which is going to be the trade-off, obviously, with Elise and Tristana recalling. They will be moving into the dragon pit later on again, as we could potentially try to just sprint, speedrun this one down. And before Elise will arrive, there is another dragon that goes over here to the red team. However, now we have to deal with the Baron. Blue team already on the map trying to impact. Actually, with a little bit of a staggered recall here. Tristana and the Ezreal recalling after... Well, Elise and Tristana then recall. Did Tristana just recall 2 times in like a minute? I think she did. But you know what? It's totally fine, as the kick will actually almost pick up a kill here onto the Aurelion Soul. That would have been absolutely huge, but like this, Ezreal... Lee Sin just looks like a little bit of a buffoon. It just goes down. Not really impacting this too much. And that is going to be rough, as Addy still around and ready. Ready to impact the team fight with this beautiful ultimate and Shorelia's. The Shorelia Ghost and ultimate. He will be sprinting down the Karma now, as Samira able to follow up with that one and pick up 1 kill. As Wukong though found alone inside of the enemy team, Samira will now take down the Tristana. Wukong went down, so Tristana is one of the super big trades here that was acquired for that Wukong kill, where Tristana is down. That probably ends the Baron push here for the blue team. I'm pretty sure it does, where it's a good trade taking down the jungler when both of the objectives are down, trading your jungler versus the enemy mid laner, that is Tristana, who is just so proficient at taking down these turrets. Yeah, Ezreal can't really overextend here, as the Elise will be around to cover. So I don't know exactly what Eddie's plan here is, but yeah, you drop a little bit lower and Ezreal can chase you down. You will go down here, as Eddie just griefing away. Beautiful W will catch the Ezreal ult, and now there is an angle again to push, which is, I mean, not purely, but pretty much just Eddie's fault here. So hopefully there won't be too much damage, but it's not looking so good, is it? As Eddie might just be losing this game, although he fought valiantly. Let's be honest with ourselves here. Flash will get Pantheon to safety. It's Tristana now taking down the Samira. That is pretty disgusting. My god, what is Tristana damage? And she is also running Infinity Edge. She is not running Navori Quick Blades like the meta asks her to. So she would probably be a little bit stronger, even, especially those abilities, as the skies will not descend this time. However, the falling star does the job perfectly right now, as Tristana W is also interrupted by Addy here. Not really perfect timing by Addy, it's just unfortunate timing by Tristana, as Addy running her down will find another stun onto the Elise, which seals her fate. Tristana just walking away from these people, as Addy not going to provide a reset for the Tristana here, as Tristana is chased down. Tristana will use the blasting plants and they take you away very far. Wukong still laying chase though. Sin is making his way here to cover for the Tristana. Tristana very low and scared. Doesn't have her W, as Wukong will just pick her up just like that. And even more gold here to the what was a 0-4 jungler, now the Monkey King of the jungle, as he will be reasserting that title onto Lee Sin, taking out about half his HP and taking that ultimate just on top. We'll be walking away just like that. Doesn't really care about your feelings, blind man. Robbing it all. As our Wukong now forced to stay as Eddie. It's up for some Fiesta. W. The Wukong W and the Rakan, they're just not in sync at all. As we have to be a little bit careful here. The ultimate comes out of Addy trying to peel for his Monkey King. As it does seem to be kind of successful. Wukong will go down, but he is traded here for the Ezreal, who did overextend in order to get that kill. Addy, beautiful W, will catch 2 people once again. And that is the Fiesta that Addy is creating, working out in favor for him. 17 assists, 7 kills. 2 kills go over to the Aurelion Sol, who is at this point working on his mythic finally. So that is pretty crazy, actually, that he hasn't had a mythic the entire time. Still doing massive amounts of damage because the champion is balanced. But Tristana, I'm gonna expose him real quick. Yeah, not gonna let him cook. Oh, but the 500 years. He will just be able to W out as Tristana doesn't interrupt his W with her ultimate, which is kind of weird. I think that she was just trusting in the fact that she would be able to take him down anyhow. Will not be able to find that, and so Aurelion Sol will be able to live. That is a huge blunder here by the Tristana, as now a crown goes down here for Aurelion Sol. I was about to call him the Shattered Queen, which is the crown of the Shattered Queen, but that just because he builds it doesn't mean that he is the Shattered Queen. I mean, maybe he is, who knows, right? But I don't think so, as that he will be teleporting into the dragon fight here. Samira and Wukong already taking the dragon down to 50% HP. Dragon will now be secured here by the red team. Kind of secured, as the Baron is traded as an objective soul point here available for the red team, but that Baron going down to the blue team once again means more defending on the horizon here for the blue team. Could lead in to a very easy dragon contest here for the blue team as well. So red team just will have to defend this. Zaddy working his magic. He is now running a Force of Nature Deadman's Plate, Sunfire Aegis, and Shurelia's Battle Song. I think you see a certain theme here. It is movement speed, as the movement speed will catch out the Elise, and Elise might go to the skies, but she will go down anyhow. And that means that, oh, also Tristana solo goes down to the Aurelion Sol. Something is fishy here. The Paypal is strong in that one. Is Andy? I call him Andy. Eddie will be looking to, yeah, pressure out the Lee Sin here away from the wave. So that one is a little bit easier to clear. Don't get it twisted. He is a support. He doesn't really do any damage. So, you know, the best thing he can do is just walk around, be a nerfed support because he doesn't have a warding item. Oh, actually, never mind. He does have a Shard of True Eyes. Why exactly? He just did build that when he decided to roam around and run around the map. He just decided to pick up a Shard of True Eyes. Well, a Spell Thief, and then, you know, Spell Thief's Edge, and then transform that into a Shard just by creating Fiesta and hitting champions. So that is a great pickup here. This was around the time where the turret got pushed here by Lee Sin. He just decided, okay, I'm not going to be picking up a lot of farm anymore, so might as well transform my ward item. And now we have 2 supports, 2 people that can place wards here. Isn't that crazy, huh? Doesn't have any space for control wards here, which is, you know, it's a bit of an issue. But obviously, with that Shard of True Eyes, you are still going to be more than good enough here. As, ooh, Addy might find himself in a lot of trouble here, as the Cocoon will find him out, and he is so incredibly fast, and he will not go down. Tanky is his second name as well, and he is doing a great job here at staying alive. And that is a lot of cooldowns that went down here for the blue team. As now Lee Sin will be caught out in a pincer maneuver here. Will try to get himself to safety, but will succeed, actually. Will succeed in joining up with his team, as now Wukong will be caught out, and that is pretty rough here. One big engage dropping to half life here for the red team, and the onus is on the red team here to engage onto the blue team. Otherwise, Tristana just takes your base. So Lee Sin will teleport back into the base. as Samira on a little bit of a solo bolo mission here will take down the support and trade her life for it, which is absolutely not worth. Just wait for the other guys to engage for you, but no, she doesn't want to, as Aurelion Sol in a lot of trouble here. Skies will not descend on this one, as the Lee Sin kick will, oh no, and the Skies descent comes out, but way too late, and Lee Sin kick will find the lethal onto Aurelion Sol, as now Wukong will be chasing down the Lee Sin, as Wukong, once again, the only man standing here from that scuffle over there, which Elise and Karma and Tristana went down in. Oh no, so Ezreal, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, Lee Sin went down here. And then probably Tristana also did some damage here. It was a hell of a fight. And just like predicted, Soul Point is coming up. And it is going to be interesting, as Karma gets the first move, because the red team here still struggling a little bit with defending the base. Teleport ward could become valuable to the Tristana here in just a minute, as the dragon now will be the focus here of both of these teams. Lee's now moving in as well, joining her support, who has already been working on setting up some vision. Teleport comes through here for the Rakan, who will aggressively be denying the river control here. And the red team slowly arrives at the party. Pantheon a little bit late to it all, but he has his ultimate, so you can consider them all to be there, as Tristana will just deal a little bit of damage to Addy. Get herself out of there again. Samira has to be very careful. Ooh, Elise caught out of position here. The flash will get her to momentary safety, but she will eventually go down anyhow, as Wukong now chasing down the Ezreal. Ezreal goes down here to the Aurelion Sol ultimate as well, as Samira will pick up a kill onto the Tristana, and that seals the fight for the Soul Point. However, is this going to be game? Well, we are going to find out, as Aurelion Sol will pick up a kill onto the Karma here. Addy now helping his team chase down the Lee Sin as well. Quite mobile, that one, but you know who's more mobile? That is goddamn right. It is going to be the Rakan. Are we even going to try to pick up? No need to pick up a Soul Point, as the enemy team has surrendered. And that is going to be another win in the books of Addy. If you've liked this cast, I would invite you to head on over to my channel and hit subscribe on that one. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay awesome.